Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Wednesday, June 26, 2013. The devastating floods in Alberta province in Canada that have caused the evacuation of 100,000 people in the Calgary area have begun to see some bill totals coming in. It's estimated that perhaps as much as $3 to $5 billion of economic damages in Canadian dollars has been incurred. That's actually because of the exchange rate. The Canadian dollar is stronger than the American dollar. That's up to about 4.75 billion US dollars in economic damage. It's estimated that the insured losses are going to exceed the 2005 Calgary floods, which cost about 380 million Canadian. So it's going to be a very big bill. Meanwhile, reinsurance pricing continues to fall. It dropped about 20% over the June 1 renewals. This is according to brokers as reported by SNL. For once, though, the weather is not the driving force behind the change of rates. It's competition coming from third-party capital into the industry. According to some statistics compiled by SNL, in the U.S. property catastrophe sector, April 1 rates fell in some areas between 5 and 10%. That served as the precursor to the June 1 renewals that saw prices about 15 to 20% lower. And then, of course, now the July 1 renewals are coming up, and they're expected to be even lower. Although the industry expected to see significant reductions in 2013, nobody thought that the cuts would come this deeply, this quickly. Meanwhile, at the Insurance Day conference in Bermuda, the new managing director of supervision for the Bermuda Monetary Authority, Craig Swan, said that the market's fastest growing entrant on the island is the insurance-linked security sector. He said that about 14% of the world's property limit is insured by insurance-linked security companies, which have accounted for 27 of Bermuda's 53 new insurance formations last year. He said, "We can't guarantee what will happen to the trend of insurance-linked security insurers, but I suspect that unlike the sidecars that were set up in 2005 and 2006, after Hurricanes Katrina, Rita, and Wilma, this new wave of security writers is going to be in for the long haul." He said that in the area of customer relationships, he believed that the traditional reinsurer probably has an advantage. He acknowledged that the advent of the ILS carriers is placing lots of pressure on traditional reinsurers, insofar as them having difficulty in securing capital to be able to match the quickness and the expediency of the ILS companies. Lloyd's is on the cusp of an upgrade from Fitch Ratings. The rating agency has revised its outlook on Lloyd's to positive, praising Lime Street's observed reduction in earnings volatility. However, Fitch said it would not make an assessment on Lloyd's rating change until the market publishes its full year 2013 figures, which of course will not be for a while since we're only halfway through 2013. Meanwhile, in China, more rioting in the western province of Xinjiang has killed at least 27 people. 17 people have been killed in rioting, but the police then opened fire and shot dead 10 more. The latest incident comes after 21 people died 3 months ago in rioting. And of course, in 2009, over 200 people were killed in riots. Many of the Uyghurs, a Turkic-speaking Muslim people who call Xinjiang home, accused China of placing restrictions on their practice of religion. It should be remembered that China, of course, let Edward Snowden leave Hong Kong. Might be perhaps time for President Obama to suggest that infiltration would occur in Xinjiang province to help the Uyghurs. Meanwhile, in India, the Indian Air Force is stretched to the limit. They have provided some 1,400 sorties into the monsoon-affected area, evacuating more than 12,000 people by helicopter. Apparently, over 1,000 people have already drowned. And yesterday, the Indian Air Force on its own sustained a casualty. A Russian-made Mi-17 helicopter crashed, killing all 19 people on board. In Bermuda, there's a bit of a smelly problem. There's been a garbage strike. Sanitation workers went out in sympathy with quarry workers at the government's quarry. They refused to cross the picket line and went out on a sympathy strike. So for some 20 days, there's been a backlog of trash. And the business community is criticizing the sanitation workers for an unacceptable garbage backlog situation. Chamber of Commerce president told the Royal Gazette that the union needs a reality check. We know that the government is in a deficit position, and to add further cost by having to pay the garbage workers overtime to clean the trash is unacceptable. It's unacceptable as well to have trash accumulating around the island, particularly along prime tourist routes such as the South Shore Road at the height of the tourist season. I don't know about you, but if there's piles of garbage on the sides of the roads, which are already very narrow, I would not want to be on a motor scooter. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Tom Bailey will do the news from London tomorrow and Friday.